The last-minute operation skills of this man, I swear to God. Keith Fustel, along with, of course, Callie Francois here in Maryland, of course, at Laurel Park. Nice. Didn't have crazy prices yesterday,
No.
but we Combat Queen in the 8th, $13.30. All smiles in the winner's circle there for the Trombetta team and Johan Rosado. That was a nice little win for them. Keith got some good races coming up today. Track still a little bit of moisture in it. We're rated good.
Yes.
There's still, I know it looks fast, but there's still just a little bit of packing right there. Even if you take a look at that sealed part of the track, that's a really good indication of kind of how things are still with the track.
And there's some moisture definitely there underneath, so track is good. Maybe a little bit of an outside tinge early on this racetrack yesterday, but all in all, fairly fair. And you talked about the prices, right? You had one $13 winner, but hopefully you kind of were along for the ride with us yesterday and kind of took our picks and dinked and dunked a little bit. You probably got the late pick 5. It paid $1,300. Our top 2 picks all the way there, 3 winners and 3 top horses and I think a couple second horses got it done. Yeah, so the early pick 5 paid $806. The late pick 5 over $1,300 with horses that weren't paying a slew. But competitive races we talked about on the show yesterday. Racing Office have put together some good,
wonderful
contentious fields.
Yes.
And you know, even though the bombs didn't come in, you still had to spread a little bit, hence the bigger payouts on these multi-race wagers. So please join in, get in on these wagers. A little heads up on today. We've got football today, too, so if you can get up to the second floor into the sports book area, wherever you want to call it, you got a shot. Ravens at 4:30. That'll carry into some nighttime simulcasting. So, yeah, hopefully we've got some beer specials on tap. If not, just put it on Callie's tab.
Might as well.
She'll take care of it.
Might as well at this point. Race number 1 is a starter optional 12.5, going a mile and 16th on the dirt. Let's take a look at that video spotlight that we have right away on the number 3, our Tenderoni. That's all of our top pick. And, of course, your best bet of the day, Keith.
Our Tenderoni, right? Rice-A-Roni,
Makes me think of pasta.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes me want to eat pasta tonight.
This is a good effort, really good effort. Philly against the boys on October the 9th and takes them a long, long way. Gets collared late and just kind of gives way ever so grudgingly. I thought this was a really big effort, Cal. Parks try last time out, not terrible at all. You know, had to sit off of it, made a little move, a little flattening. I think today it's right to the front for her. Ricky Silliman Barn rolling right along. So with a clean break, our Tenderoni should be able to go and control things up front. Even if maybe a horse like the 7 to Susan Ann Sens or Chica Rabiosa, she has a rating here. Her recent form is just better than these.
Right, absolutely. The 5 we both have underneath: Gold Time Vixen, Mario Saray Jr., Grant Whitaker. We saw this one last on December 2nd, so a bit of a 2-week break for our Tender. And first off of a claim with Mario Saray as well.
Yeah, and a little bit of a bump up, right? The double jump up to 10. He's done well with this over the last couple of years. 20%, 7 for 35. 362 is your ROI. Gold Time Vixen likes the mile distance. I think she'll get a perfect trip down towards the inside, settling and making that move into the pace. 3-5-6-1. Woody Banner, you know, she doesn't have much speed. They're dropping. It's late in the year. They kind of want to get something out of her. She's got the right kind of rider in Barbosa to put her in the race a little bit sooner and try to carry her. And I think you've got the one in there as well, Misty Taste.
Of course.
Getting back to maybe not as wet of a surface, but she's been a victim of some wide trips her last couple times.
Absolutely. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4, of course, and the man next to me has a ticket lined up for you guys. Keith, how do you see it today?
Yeah, we're right around it. Okay, $24 ticket. If you can add a horse in the first leg to 3, never changes. Nest horses with a jump up in class off the claim definitely concerns me. I'll go 1 and 4 in there. Rusty's G550 ampersand. 3 deep in race 3 with the 1, 2, and 4. Competitive little group right there. The 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs. Race 4, we back it down a little bit with the 1, Quincy Cafe, holding some value, I think, today. In the 4, Shack in the Box. Race 5, 2, 3, 7, and 10. That nickel claimer, not the easiest. No More Run kind of looks like the obvious. First off a claim off of a negative drop. That concerns me. Will be part of that pace flow, no doubt. But I'm going to add a couple other horses in there. $24 for that early pick 4.
We'll get into a little bit of your take on Quincy Cafe. I'm interested to hear your take on Quincy Cafe in race number 4. But race number 2 is a claiming 48,000, which have never won Never won 3 races, a mile here on the dirt. Keith, let's take a look right away at that ampersand video in the number 4 for Anthony Ferry. Gets Javian Toledo last time out over at Churchill.
Yeah, just you saw that, the hesitation. And, man, oh, man, I don't want to see that today at this mile distance and big gaudy field down there of 12, and is able to kind of recover and make a prolonged run, right, to go ahead and get the place. This horse has some back figures, has shown versatility. We're going to see this horse picking it up in the past to be a little bit closer. So the break is going to be key for Ampersand. I know he's only won 2 races. Rusty's G550 has won 4. He's going to maybe have the jump on that one. But I like the way that he was able to sustain into this after that trouble beginning in a confident bump up. We saw this owner-trainer combo do it with Oro Demora, or whatever the horse's name is, not so long ago. So, yeah, Tony Ferry's got a lot of live horses on this afternoon's card.
Absolutely. So it's just, again, just as – and I brought this up earlier. This horse might not be sitting in the field for as long. This is a 6-horse field. Last time out, different story. 11-horse field had to sit in that gate a little bit longer. So only 2 more horses to load after that. And when horses kind of dwell like that or take a little bit of time, sometimes it's not due to bad behavior. Sometimes, and we've covered this in the past couple of days, talking specifically about gate horses. Sometimes they're just not paying attention and they miss it, and sometimes they're just standing there for so long that it just takes a second for their legs to catch up with them. But you also have the number 1 on the rail, Rusty's G550, as we just discussed. This one just really consistent, dropping it just at the proper level now.
He's your 4-time winner against a bunch of horses that have only won 2, so you got to lean towards him. He's going to get plenty of money, just beaten last time at 4-5. Real gritty effort on the worst part of the racetrack. Giordani did not come back and run too well yesterday, but say that. This guy with a clean break, he'll be into the race, and he can win it from just off of it as well. I think the 4 might just hold a little bit more value, but Rusty's G550, I don't think you can leave him out of your exact.
Sorry, circle back a second. What's your take on the number 2, Dream Big Dreams, the Russell horse with Jeremy Rose?
Frustrating because, this horse ran okay, was gelded, big number, 2 races back. Last time, no real excuse to stead flat. He doesn't have a whole lot of natural speed. Maybe he'll wake up today and make a run. I mean, there is a little bit of flow here, and he's going to need it to get past him.
Absolutely. Race number 3 is another claiming 40 non-winners of a race since October 17th. 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 2-year-olds. Keith, you've got the number 1, the Calora Kid for Jamie Ness, Jaime Rodriguez. They both had 2. They just had 1 winner paired up yesterday together, but taking the drop down. This is more of a lateral move, I would say, from that Delaware optional 50.
Yeah, this horse is a half to Uncle Irish. He hasn't quite shown that talent as of yet. Uncle Irish, a pretty versatile horse, can carry that speed. They made over 200,000, but the Calora Kid, I just think comes out of fast races. I mean, those internals were quick, kind of run off his feet and couldn't recover. Yeah, there's flow in here. Bose Bourbon, Noah Chance, Grand Escape, but I think this little class drop, I think it's a slight drop, Cal, just a little bit, that he's going to be able to kind of move into position around the turn. And I think he can make a run. He looks like a chaser with a fade. This might be the group where he can kind of just steadily grind. They come back to him just enough. I had trouble with this race. I like your top selection, the 2 Island Delight. I'll let you talk about that one a little bit because I was impressed by his last race after a little trouble at the gate.
Right, and it's the 2 turns. It's the consistent 2 turns at Charlestown that really it's a weird angle for me to talk about, but I feel like if you're handling 2 turns at Charlestown very well, it just comes so much easier for a similar type of distance. We're cutting back from the 6.5, 7 back to the 3/4 distance over at the 1 turn. It just makes things a lot easier. I'm not worried about that inside post because you're going to see consistent gate speed out of this horse. Although, especially next to the Calora Kid, I think he's going to blow him out of the water right out of the gate, right out of the get-go. And we also talk about that pace on the inside. This horse has experience with that inside type of getting that outside type of pressure. So this horse has just been really gotten confident, not only gotten confident, but really has just gotten raw experience in those last 4 starts at Charleston. And of course, Anthony Ferry, lukewarm, 13% as of late from that Charlestown to Laurel factor.
Yeah, I think he's going to come from just off that. I don't think he's as fast as Bose Bourbon, even to the horse just outside of him. But the way that he kind of got bumped around, got to the lead early, but took the rating. And I watched, he kind of moved away from that field without being asked too much. I think with Toledo, he'll kind of drop in there and maybe sit and stalk. I don't know if he wants to duel. Maybe he's definitely on the improve. And he keys up against Lost Weekend in that debut run, as did Bose Bourbon over Timonium. So the horses there, numbers are all right. He just seems to me to be an improving horse.
Right.
Lasix does come off. That is a little bit of a question mark. I'll throw the 4 in there. That was then, this is now. Went up to Aqueduct. A little bit of a middle move down inside, protected late. Don't let the beaten lengths fool you. That's when you go back and watch these races. This horse would have been a little bit closer. That winner came back to run an 89 next out in a graded race. That was a salty field, a big field. This is the horse to settle with the blinkers on and make one run.
Yeah, Kendrick, just to Kendrick's credit in this sense, you'll see whenever I do see horses that are not in the running, or he just protects them. So you see these horses that lose by double digits with Carmouche specifically on, but he's doing it for the benefit. So again,
absolutely.
I agree with you. I just don't knock that out too much, but yeah.
And the 6, I think the 6 is the horse to catch. Looks to me might be the speed of the speed. Barbosa went here. He had an option. He's going to try to whistle out to the front and go as far as he can for Kieran and company.
I like that. Whistle out to the front. Let's whistle along to race number 4 that starts. The Rainbow Pick 6, of course, I got a ticket lined up. Let's take a look at that. I go wide in this race. I was scratching my head a little bit. You went a bit more confident in this race. We take different directions. Of course, I'm going to go with that obvious of No More Run, but then Top Boss as well. Mohan is going. This is where Mohan's fitting in. He's putting this horse in the right type of spot from that Delaware transfer. Race number 6 in that starter optional 30 event. Again, I was scratching my head a little bit. We're still having a little bit of this card. Kudos to the racing office for giving us a tough card. So I go 4 deep in there. My single is in race number 7. Excuse me. The number 3, Chickiness. There's a lot to offer with both of those Cal Lynch horses, though. So if I were to add anything, I would have also added Mo Martha as well. And, of course, I go 3 deep in race number 8, Can't Rule Out Vance Scholars. And in race 9, I go 2 deep. Interesting nightcap, though, a $38.40 ticket to start the Rainbow Pick 6, which is in race number 4, this allowance optional 62.5, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the 2-year-old specifically. Heath, let's go ahead and take a look at Quincy Cafe. This horse, you have this horse on your ticket, gets the blinkers on, first time gelding.
He was part of those earlier 2-year-old races, right? Back in June and July. He showed some ability, was willing in those races. This is the race we're going to target on the 31st when he goes out to 7/8 of a mile. He's able to kind of save ground early, makes that kind of run in between horses, shifts out. Looks like a winner here. A lot of sense to the outside. It's kind of go up and engage. He puts a head in front and just gets out finished through the final 1/8 of a mile. But a willing try nonetheless. A lot of sense. DQ'd out of there. Hence Quincy Cafe put up for the win. Couple horses out of there have run well. A lot of sense came back to run a 59 the other day. Yeah, maybe a touch of hang right there, and maybe that's his mind just not quite right. He's got ability. You know, this is a half to a Grade 1 winner. Chi-Town Lady won at 7/8 of a mile, similar distance. So blinkers go on. First time gelding. Boy, I like the inside draw here today. Just an okay break with the 3 speeds, 3 speed types to his outside. He'll move up into contention given a good break. And I think, breeding suggests he'll be able to handle that and make that move from just off of it.
I like this. I actually am a fan of this horse ever since seeing this horse run first time out back in late June. My only ticket, I think he might just need one go at this distance again on a bit of a more solid surface that he likes with the blinkers on. I think this is one that may need some time to develop, but what is looking good for Lacey Goddard right now, short sampling now, out of the last 4 starts with her second-time routers, 2 wins and 2/3. So 100% in the money as of late, again, off of a short sampling of second-time routings. But again, I think this horse as an individual, I won't be surprised if, especially with the blinkers on and William Humphrey back on, this horse comes up and sails on for this distance with the breeding behind to suggest. But I think as an individual, also won't be surprised if he may need a race.
Yeah, the mile, it's not an easy race, but he has that under his belt. 9 wide in that field, just never impacted.
Right.
I don't want him. I hope he's not too keen with the blinkers on, because I don't want a duel with the 2, the 3. Those 2 specifically, they've got pretty good speed themselves. So if he can kind of relax and get up into contention, say by mid-turn, I think some of that speed's going to come back to you.
I think he's an intelligent enough horse to not be too rank. We just saw in that video hanging a little bit. I think that's why the blinkers are going on for this guy today. Okay, well, let's get into some others, like the number 4, Shack in the Box for Damon DeLudovico, J. Ron Barbosa. Damon having a nice day with a winner yesterday. This one, first time against winners, and jumping this horse up right to the 62.5.
Yeah, out of that race with B. West. Boy, what a horse race that was.
Yes.
Man, that was something good. He rode to the better part of the racetrack, but he was hard sent inside early and had to withstand. And I tell you, he just battled every step of the way, and that's what this guy, I think, wanted, a little bit of a stretch out. You saw his races when he was going shorter, giving effort. He just didn't quite have that speed to stay close enough, and that finish. The mile hit him right between the eyes. He was gritty to the end. Barbosa is back. I think he's a user, and I think of the horses that I think are going to be forward, he has the ability to sit a little bit further back and make the move into it and keep going. Yeah, Damon, good one yesterday. Good pick with Call Me Maestro, a little Seinfeld reference.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. They killed our price 7-2. I think it had 10-1 on the line, but hey, I get abused all the time.
That wasn't a shocker. We also both include Corona Nova. Thank you. I'm keep thinking of
thinking
coronavirus.
about the beer, right?
Or that.
Okay.
For Ricky Selman, Laurel Glazer, of course, gets an advantage of an outside pressure. Anything to add on that one?
Yeah, I mean, did everything it needed to do first time out. Called a real short field, only beat 3 horses. This is a type when you look at, well, does it need lead? Well, we'll see if this guy can kind of sit and rate. I don't think he's as fast as these horses to his inside. Right. Johnny French Fry B. West. But, he's a half the image maker, a 3 or 4 time winner, a horse that did well going long, had a rating gear, and was able to move into it. So, yeah, I'm going to use him again right back. Decent mare on that bottom side, 1-4-3-9. Still a tough little race. You got a couple Britneys in there. Southern Lad, who's actually improving, could sneak in. Don't leave that 7 out of your superfectas and tries. I think this horse is a little bit sneaky because Freddiness came back to run well off of that race at Parks.
There we go.
There you go.
Keith Fusel's value price at that race. Race number 5 is a claiming 5,000, which have not won a race since June 17th. Or never win 4. Going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you go with the number 2, who I have underneath Top Boss. David Mohan, Johan Rosado. This is a proper move from that first time back in Maryland from Delaware.
Yeah, I was hoping Butterfly would go here. He goes. He went to another horse. He went to the 7 for Fortitude for Crystal Pickett. He was familiar with Top Boss, but I'll take Top Boss coming back to Laurel. He's got good races on his page at this racetrack. Gets a little bit of an assist with the 9 Jolly Heretic scratched out of there. He's forward. He's got some grittiness to him. We saw that last year here. I think this guy can go ahead and be forward and kind of withstand some pressure stretching out from that 5/8 at Delaware. We talked about the 10, No Mo Ron. Yep. Disappointed at 1-2. Chase speed kind of carried there, couldn't make it up. He's going to be forward with Lopez, right? He's going to be into the race, but that was that scares me. But Walter's horse, remember, he had a horse run yesterday, ran okay. So yeah, and for Fortitude to pick things up along with the 3, they look like the main closers. If you think it's going to be that duel, the 3 Perfectly Majestic and the 7 look like the ones to benefit in race 5.
Keith Fusel goes 2-10, 7-3. I go 10-2, 4-3, and we will be right back to talk about the rest of Saturday's card.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back. Let's kick on with things starting in the starter optional, claiming 30,000, and the 6 going 5.5 on the dirt scratch, in the 3 Rad Paisley. I originally had that horse on top, and that leaves us all over this board. Keith, you go with the rail horse on the inside. Charge to Victory, really warmed up barn of Carlos Mencia, gets Angel Cruz. This one has been nothing if not consistent.
Yeah, he has. Out of that race, Quick Tempo, who won on the drop, a big fig, but is very, very fast. Chased him around the racetrack when last seen in early October. Freshened up. This horse has run okay off some breaks. Gets a little help there with the scratch of Rad Paisley, which will help him get position. I believe he'll be forward. Does he need to lead? I'm not so sure that he has to. But man, I want to get him. If he can get into the turn unscathed, I think he stays the trip in here and is within your exact. That was a big scratch of the 3. Yeah, Sevier. I think the key for the 5. Second time now back sprinting. Was off of a couple routes. Maybe wasn't quite as sharp. This is a horse that just does nothing but win.
Right.
He likes moisture in the racetrack. It still looks like it's going to hold within there today. And he's kind of got that pressing, staying type to be a factor here for Ness. You've got Aristocratic for Ferris Allen.
I took a stab. I did. I took a stab. I saw that muddy effort back at Delaware and then continued on with that. Ran into enough of a field in that starter optional last time out, but of course didn't get the best break. Gets an outside post. Gets a little bit of an easier setup today. So that's what I see in Aristocratic. I think 9-2. I think that horse might go up from 9-2 possibly once things get going. And so I'm hoping.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a little bit more of a price on the number 7 Aristocratic.
Okay, I got it written up top. Great race. This is a heck of a horse
It
race.
is.
This
Yes.
starter 20. Really, really good. Lots of ways to go. Breaks will be key for everybody. This is a spread race in your multi-race wagers without a doubt. If you're looking for a horse maybe to come from the clouds, how about Sim for 5 for Mary Epler? Had a horse the other day. I rallied in, I believe, for 3rd. Going to get the right kind of setup and excuse when shuffled back last time out, but has back figures that can jump up and bite you and bite this field. So you got a Rojo, right, to sit and rate. This is a type of horse that I like him on. This would be that one that just could kind of come rolling and get up late if things get really heated up front.
There we go. 12-1 Keith Fusel. That's what to offer in that widespread affair in the 6th race. Race number 7 is an allowance optional. The other half of the optional allowance claiming 62.5, 5.5 dirt. 2-year-olds for the girls this time. Let's take a look at the number 4 right away. Moco Gold for Anthony Ferrier gets Javian Toledo again today. Hit the gate hard last time out.
Yeah, acting up, hit the gate on November the 14th. We're going to go back to the 16th of October, and this was the win. Now this horse is going to come way down. We've got a scratch right here. Is the 2 out, just to make sure, to confirm?
Give me a second. Scrolling. Yes.
Dissolute is out, so the price way down. This horse took no play last time out and beat in a pole because of that. But this was a workman-like win for her, right? On the 16th, she just settles, relaxes, just kind of moves up and takes control, goes away. She was running at the end of her last race. I know she was in another county, but I just watched her specifically. She looked good through the lane, so I'm going to forgive all of the antics, the trouble beginning. I'm going to use this one to maybe upset cheekiness. We won't get anywhere close to the 15 that I had with the scratch.
What helps is she's got a gate work on November 27th. That's a really great trainer move on that because that's my only thing that I have against her. Is she going to be suffering from some PTSD from that last effort last time out? So I see everything. I agree with everything. Just taking a little bit of precaution with her having her underneath.
That's every race when I go over to the window upstairs. I suffer it every day. But no, it's not funny. I tell you, it's tough. But yeah, cheekiness going to be your favorite in here. I think we talked about. Wasn't Ness concerned about the 7/8? I really wasn't last time. I'm seeing Blofeld and Harlan's Holiday, but he was concerned about the distance. So shortening back up to 5.5. Man, she's got stalk and pounce written all over her. Today, Mo Martha, blinkers go on after a win. Interesting move, but she showed a lot of heart with trouble in debut. She should be forward, no doubt. Flamingo Faye's interesting as a horse. Only had 2 tries on the turf. It took a lot of play in the Maryland Million last. He had 5-1. Blinkers went on. Major excuse when stumbling out of the gate. Tab the tote again. See if that money shows.
There we go.
For Flamingo Faye's. But I'll key around the 3 and the 4. Kind of chalky there in the 7th. I don't know if I can scratch out a big price.
I love that. Tap the tote. Tap the tote?
Tab the tote. Take a look at it.
Tap the tote. Love it. Love that. Race number 8 is our feature race of the day. This allowance optional claiming 55, going a 1-turn mile here in the dirt. Scratch the 7. Wait for it. Keith, you and I both land on, of course, Vance Scholars. You've got a stat right away on Dale Capuano.
Yeah, and this is, not like really dealing. We usually have got the horse variety and everything like that. This is the jockey trainer combo. And he's going to pair up with Barbosa today. The last 90 days, that's pretty good. 5 for 15, 33%, 12 for 15 in the money with an ROI of like 210. So that's the key. Vance Scholars, just seemed to be a little bit more patiently handled last time. He was a good rider, don't get me wrong. I just thought for that inner post he'd be more forward. Well behind Zabracadabra, and we'll show that video in a second.
Right.
But still churned on. It's inside at a mile. This guy's going to be put into the race. We saw Barbosa, and I saw Dale downstairs like a week or two ago. He had that horse go up to Charlestown. I wrote it down. Sue Loves Barbados, kind of we thought as a closer, one ring. Put that horse up on the lead and ran a really good race. Survived it.
Very sharp in the morning.
Is he? Okay.
He did that. He did that move because the horse is very sharp in the morning and just needed to be sent
well,
to Charlestown.
I didn't get the inside scoop as you always seem to get. Okay. I live in another world. But anyhow, I'm seeing Van Scholars close up. He ran really big in that Japan Turf Cup when he was dogged the whole way and kept on going, and even in the Maryland Million Classic. So you'll see him up a lot closer today. I think he can eke it out late.
Yeah. There's really not much to say other than what you just said about Van Scholars need to be put. I think they tried an experiment last time out because he is a bit of that. He's leaner. He is a bit of that nimblier type. So you could definitely see of why you would want to try coming from off the pace on him. But no, he's a bit more of not a plotter, but just kind of a bit of a more steady Eddie than what you would think. So yes, without further ado, let's get into that video on the number 2 Zabracadabra for Gary Capuano. Gets Carlos Lopez again today.
Yes, and as you kind of referred to, he wants to be kind of forward in his races, right? He likes to put them in position, similar to Jaron, and they just kind of try to carry him from there. Boy, this was a heck of a horse race, right? Man, Plot the Dots was able to kind of sit off of that contested pace, made the move. Zabracadabra had no give up, no let up, and even on the worst part of the racetrack on the 24th, as you heard us talking and discussing yesterday, kind of an outer advantage, okay, on that day. So coming right back off of a big number, can he pair that up? That's the key.
Right.
That was a big, big effort there.
So we also have the number 8 underneath. Excuse me for a second. Monday Morning QB for Norm Cash gets Louis Batista drifted. This horse is going to be drifting late yet again. He did it at Aqueduct last time out. He's done it before here at Laurel in the last couple of races, especially in that win 3 back. We're probably going to see that again. So he gets an outside post. Keith. What else do you like about Monday Morning QB?
I just think he's in good form. He's holding very good form. Had an excuse in the bender. Moving out to a mile works for him. It's the horse to his inside. How is he going to relax off of a couple of these horses I think might be more aggressively ridden? The move's got to be timed right by Batista around the turn, but I think he can stay. I think as soon as if he makes the move at the right time, he'll hold to the wire. This is another really good horse race, very tough to split. Norm Cash has got another one in here that's 2 for 2 at the 1-turn mile down in Kentucky with Southern District. $100,000 claim last out. Oof. We got some. You got that. We got some Christmas presents lined up here under the tree over here for Mr. Cash. That's pretty good. 100,000 off of Chad Brown. We'll see if this horse can come back and run, but he's proven at this distance, no doubt.
There we go. Race number 9 is our nightcap of the day. This claiming 25. Never win 3 big enough scratches in the 1A Burks and the 4 Zen Master. Of course, Burks is re-entered for Sunday as well, but all of us, you, myself, and Tim Tulloch, all land on the number 3 Cozy's Wildcat for, of course, Anthony Ferrier. Angel Cruz coming back first off of the claim, off of a win for Anthony Ferrier.
Yeah, this up to 25 again. This looks like a little bit of a step sideways. He is a 5-time winner again, taking advantage of the competition of the condition. Into the race gets a little help. Maybe Burks should have been part of that flow, but I think center mid Maddie's going to go ahead and go here for Ness. Cozy's Wildcat is showing tactical ability as well. So 2 wins in a row, 2 seconds prior to that. I think he holds form and is able to kind of get it done. He might have to work a little bit, but that last 78 and the 78. That's strong. I think he can kind of eke it out late, even if he gets the pressure. Young Turk, throw out the last. He'll sit in that stalking position to make the move, along with Bombaloni. 2nd sprint in a row now off of the route try. I think he'll have a little bit more punch.
I agree. I think cutting back in distance for the second time, adjusting to life back on the dirt a little bit. I think he really enjoyed being on the turf as well. So we'll see that. Keith Fusel goes 3-7-2-1. I go 3-2-1-7, and that is our Saturday chat about the Saturday races. Let's head on over to Dave Rodman for more changes and scratches.
All right. Good luck.